There you go.
Hello, everyone. We have here with us today Harold Becker from the very respectable organization, the Love Organization. How are you, Harold?
Very good. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to meet you finally.
Yes.
Yes, today is Valentine's Day, you know. Yes, so happy Valentine's to you.
Thank you. Our other love day, which I'm sure we'll cover.
Yeah, yeah. So if you don't mind, I have a few questions for you.
Yes, please.
In what year did you found the International Love Organization? How old were you?
Oh, she added the age. Boy, I have to work that one out. The Love Foundation is 20 years. Actually, we're going into our 21st year this March. So we started in the year 2000, and I would have been 38 at the time when we started it. So, and it was really an extension of what I had been already doing, and it was an added component to this understanding of love that I had kind of come across, and why it was so important to me. And then we created a nonprofit so that we could offer our services additionally to other people, our understandings, I shouldn't say of our services, but really our understandings through the nonprofit in addition to what we were already doing. So yes, it's been 20 really amazingly short years, seemingly. It's hard to believe we're here.
Yeah, this is amazing. What is the story hiding behind the foundation of your organization?
The story is my background, first generation German, but here in the United States, and sort of quite American centric and Western centric to a degree. I got my master's degree in business, so I was very business oriented, and I worked full time while I got my degree. And through all of that decade of the 80s, while I was going through the theory and the practice, I just kept coming up against this realization that finally dawned on me that I was doing everything right, and yet I wasn't happy. So I started to go and ask myself what made me happy. And I started to notice that I was very people oriented. And in the positions that I would be in management, that, you know, there were things that just, there are too many gaps between management and everyday workers, and misunderstandings and all these different challenges that I just didn't feel were necessary. And that, coupled with my own desire to go within, started to unfold this pathway. And very quickly, I came across the notion of love. And I started to focus on that, and really that expanded into unconditional love, a kind of a universal love, not just a personal love. Everything just started to center around that. And so I started to make that my life mantra. I wanted to really understand, integrate, embody, experience, and perceive love in my life as much as I possibly could. And for the first decade that prior to the nonprofit Love Foundation is really the exploration of writing books and beginning to get my ideas out in a more public way, TV and radio and books and workshops and whatnot. And all of it was very universal. I have no particular, there's no religious agenda in my background because my parents left us very free to choose. So I'm very, very universal in the sense that I understand the unconditional nature of love, because for me, it is something that is in all of us. And that's really where I came to this deep understanding very quickly, that love is something that is already within us. It's something we as humans go looking for, but in fact, it resides within us. So it's really about turning our attention within. And then from that within standpoint, self-love, self-acceptance, then going back out in the world and experiencing ourselves from a whole different vibrational platform. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the story behind the story of how I got to this part of doing what I've been doing now for over 30 years.
There are many organizations in the world aimed at raise awareness, the awareness of love. What, in your opinion, is the magic which draws so many people to your organization, more people than any other organization aimed at raising awareness of love?
For me, the activity of the Love Foundation, so I have the business background, and we certainly operate as a nonprofit. And at the same time, as a nonprofit, we also are a very experimental laboratory of really putting love into practice with all of our volunteers. We're an all volunteer organization. So all of our volunteers, our board, everyone that comes to us because they find us. We don't really broadcast, we broadcast what we share in insights, but we really don't go out and advertise or do anything. People have found us over the years because they are searching for a deeper understanding of unconditional love, unity, compassion, kindness, and they, through the power of the internet, especially these last few decades, you know, they're able to find us very quickly.
You have like how many people in the organization?
Well, on Facebook, we have almost 600,000 followers, and several groups. So and what we've just decided is that we were going to stay very vision focused. I had, in my business background, I had a lot of opportunity to volunteer for some very large, everyday, well-known nonprofits, you know, both national and international nonprofits. And one of the things that I was so keenly aware of is that so many nonprofits became so focused on the fundraising, so focused on the structure of their organization, that they really lost sight of why they got involved in the beginning. So we made a point when we launched the Love Foundation in 2000 that we were not going to commercialize, we weren't going to advertise, we weren't going to directly fundraise. We were going to just allow everything to come to us the way it needed to be. And we were going to be focused on our core vision, which is to inspire people to love unconditionally. And we've held true to that over all these 20 years. And certainly we have met lots of individuals and organizations, and there are things that we could have done ourselves, but I have always taken the litmus test as whatever we're doing, does it inspire people to love unconditionally? And in that sense, that makes us extraordinarily unique because we are consciousness oriented. We are causal oriented. We're speaking of the love that resides within us, and we are not really trying to address the effects. There are many places, many organizations and individuals that do a great job at feeding, clothing, and helping people. That's a vital component. Yet we wanted to go back to the causal level. How did we get into this position in the first place? And it's been my experience that it's the lack of understanding of love within ourselves, the greatness, the magnificence of who we are, that connection that connects us to everything and everyone, including ourselves. When we come from that place, our actions, our activities, our thoughts, our feelings, our desires take on a whole different dimension. So we liken it to reconnecting people back to themselves. And in that sense, I think because there are so many different pathways out there, we happen to just be one piece of the puzzle that offers a different way that says, come this way, come back into yourself, recognize yourself. You know, there's no membership, there's no agenda, there's no dogma, there's no definition, there's no answer. It's simply a loving environment, a compassionate environment, a kind environment that says we recognize your magnificence because we recognize it within ourselves. And perhaps that is what makes us unique.
And you agree with me? Let's sharp this point that everyone have this divine love inside of them. Everyone in every situation. Yes.
Yes. In fact, what's interesting is we have, if you listen to music, and this is culturally worldwide, it doesn't matter which culture, most music will be some kind of song about love. It'll be a heartbreak or breakup or romance or desire or whatever. But when you start to pay attention, we are constantly looking for love outside of ourselves. We want to love our spouse, our partner, our family, our cars, our jobs, and those are totally fine. Yet the missing link that I realized, without self-acceptance and self-love for myself, I was not complete. And by not being complete, then I could not possibly be of any benefit or value, true benefit or value out in the world. And the more I've come to understand and integrate love for myself, basically recognizing my own love and recognizing that it's me, the love begins with me, not outside me. It begins with me. And so therefore I have to start with that love for me. And once I come from that position, that perspective, that understanding, that wisdom, then how I interact with the world is completely different than how I interacted with the world when I was separate from that.
That is great. Does the organization take part in various activities around the world?
Yes, our main program that we launched in late 2003 for the very first May 1st of 2004 is called Global Love Day. And it's really our presentation out into the world that says, hey, let's celebrate our humanity. Let's celebrate ourselves. Let's realize that with respect for each other, respect for diversity, with that interconnectedness, interdependence, these core timeless knowings that we all are aware of. I mean, one of the most fascinating things I've had for years with the Love Foundation is when I'll hand out a card, it will say, inspiring people to love unconditionally to just any person on the street. And they're like, oh my God, that's exactly what we need more of in the world. And it's so fascinating that to this day, we're still the only ones doing it this way. But through Global Love Day, we've been able to generate a global response and a response to this idea of celebrating our humanity, because heretofore, it's not meant specifically to be a holiday. However, it can be, but it is really a day that we're all recognizing our connectedness, because so far on this planet, we're either culturally or religiously, or perhaps even an acknowledgement of wartime heroism or conclusion. We have all these different New Year's, we have all these different holidays, but there's no one day that actually celebrates us as a humanity. So Global Love Day, coming May 1st, will be our 18th year of sharing this out in the world. And it's been just a fascinating journey, because we're not asking people to do anything other than simply think and feel love for the day. That's the best compliment. And then if they want to gather, if they want to do other things, they're totally welcome to do that. We have had just a myriad of expressions, but we're not here to say how to do that. We love the creativity of individuals and how they wish to participate. And each year, it just has been building upon itself as this wonderful recognition, and people feel so at home because they feel like they are part of something they know they're a part of, but we're perhaps the first ones to give expression to that global connectedness.
Wait, I'm sorry, my doll is there.
Yeah, very good.
It is okay. Oh. Okay.
She's feeling the love.
What's it? Bye, Mom. Bye. Yeah, Mom. Okay. הכל בסדר. בואי. Okay. What is the most significant thing created by your organization, in your opinion?
Connection. The first thing would be the outer programs of like Global Love Day or our Artists Say Poetry Invitational programs we do, but really the connection has been the most rewarding and worthwhile aspect, to have people find us and write us from around the world and just say that they feel like when they come to our website, for example, or they come to our social site, which is more recent, they just feel like they found home. They feel like they're included in something that heretofore they have not felt that. And that is always perhaps for me the most endearing quality that makes me really feel like we're doing what we're here to do, is give space for people to feel connected.
Okay, well, she's taking my hand.
Yeah, so, that's perfect. She's leading you. That's yeah, the connectedness of love.
She's definitely the leader of the family. Yeah. Okay. So, what do you wish for people on this Valentine's Day as the leader of this huge organization?
My message to anyone is, you're wonderful, you're okay, all is well in the world, you're magnificent, you're so much bigger and grander than you perceive yourself to be, and that with just a little bit of self-acknowledgement, you can tap into an internal wellspring of love that is always there for you any moment of any day. This is a great day to recognize love, and I would say that have a romance with yourself first, because you're your own best friend, you're a best friend to the world.
Yeah, it's never too late to start loving yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Never too early, never too late.
Exactly. Well, thank you for this special time.
Absolute pleasure.
And
yes,
it will be our pleasure to talk to you in the future again.
Yes. It's been a real joy, and I appreciate the questions, and I certainly appreciate the opportunity to share with your group also with the ideas that we're sharing out in the world. And I love the collaboration, because I know you're doing it as well. It makes my job that much easier, because someone else is helping in your corner of the world to make it.
We are all one. We are all one together.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Harold, and enjoy your Valentine's Day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.